The rat boys, they're everywhere. So what I did is I 3D printed a whole bunch of rats. Let's paint them. I found some really great Skaven models online to 3D print, so I threw them all on my Elegoo Mars 2 Pro and started printing away. And right now I have probably 3 different units of rats. The clan rats, the like spear guys with the shield, and some other more utility ones. And I'm excited to try them out because I think the rats are really fun to paint. And I've already got some cool ideas to paint them. I was thinking, which we're going against all Warhammer Age of Sigmar lore, and we're gonna do albino rats. Now, how that's going to work, I'm not 100% sure yet, besides just having the really red eyes and really white fur. And besides that, the rest of their armor is just going to be very armor looking. Now, will white work? And how to make white look interesting on a model is going to be the hardest part. So let's get started. I figure since they're going to be albino, let's do the base coat in white. And since there are going to be so many of them that I 3D printed, we can go straight to the rattle can. And from this point, I thought it would be a good idea to start working on the wood and the wooden shields that they are using, because that's the next big piece that needs to be done, and then go from there to the armor and cloth and so on. So I'm already running into a little bit of a dilemma. I feel like this happened before, but I'm not dry brushing on the metal parts. I am brushing them on. It's sort of pooling together in a weird way instead of just going on smoothly. I don't know if it was the primer that I used. I was just using an Army Painter rattle can. I had to put several layers on, like 3 layers for it to look right. Plus, I have no idea what to do when they have both that chainmail vest on top of their armor, because I want them to look a little bit different, to be a little bit more dynamic, but like I imagine they're similar, they're made of steel, so like how would it be different? I was looking at some other people's examples and it looked like they made their metal for like the under armor more like a black-ish sort of metal, or maybe like painted black. I have to think about it, and I'm starting to get a little frustrated, so I think I'm just gonna pause for now, come back to it another day with a fresh mind and see what I can do. Let's try to figure out what we're gonna do with this armor next time. I thought I'd go straight into maybe dry brushing the fur to look a little bit more dynamic. I thought maybe doing a dry brush of gray and then going up to white would sort of give it a little bit more dimension in the fur. But since I already spray painted them white instead of gray, it's coming out very strange, and they just look like dirty looking rats, like if they just rolled around in some soot or something like that. The details are just not coming out right, and they look sloppy, and I'm getting really, really frustrated. So I'm not sure if it's the model I 3D printed, if it's the primer, or if it's a skill issue, but I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try painting the entire rat just to see what it'll look like at the end, and work from there to see what I need to do to fix it. I made a super faint light pink and put it on the hands, feet, nose, and ears, and it's already getting so much more character. Of course, this model does not have any eyes since it's covered by the helmet, but it's already looking much better. I just keep thinking, how in the world will I make this white fur look interesting? It's not showing an albino rat at all to me. How do I do it? And then I realized I should lean into the pink undertones. This rat has no melanin. It's why it's albino. The best way to show that is not with gray, but with pink. We are seeing the blood color in their hands, and we should try to see it under the fur as well. So now I'm super excited and super pumped to get back into painting this with my new idea. So I grab a whole bunch of more rats that I haven't worked on yet, and I get that airbrush out and we're going. I feel like I'm on the right track now, and these rats are going to work out finally. Once it was all done, I lightly brushed over the pink with white, dry brushing, and then going over with my smaller brush to fine tune the dry brushing. I panicked there a little bit with my last model where I just did not like how the fur was looking at all. The gray with the dry brushing looked weird and it was not reading albino at all, completely no. So I started over with a whole bunch of new ones, and instead I went for a pinkish undertone, which I think will really read better as albino since they have no pigmentation. So they shouldn't have any color, any darks, anything like that. And I think gray showed that way. So this time you're just seeing like the blood pink skin and then the fur on top. And I think it is reading much better. I won't really know for sure until I paint everything else. So I'm gonna keep with the original color scheme of the iron and red cloth and go from there and pray that it reads well. Anyway, that's all I'm doing for tonight, and I'll see you guys on the next day. And now this is where I'm getting frustrated again. It looks better for sure, but it still feels sloppy. Is it the way I'm painting this armor? But I don't have the time to do non-metallic metal for every single clan rat's armor. Is it the fur? Or the hands? It feels hard to see what's wrong with it, and I'm not sure why. But we're going to give it one more try as we see why these rats aren't feeling satisfactory to me. So I decided I'm going to paint the tail and hands slightly differently. We're going to go in with an even deeper pinkish red for the base coating of the skin parts, and then layer it up, going to pink and then eventually white. Maybe it's the paints. Maybe it's the model, maybe it's the artist, but I'm not satisfied with this color scheme so far, and I need to know where this disconnect is. And I have a feeling it's something to do with this specific model that I chose to 3D print and the STL file. I'm worried that these just don't have the detail to make it look good with the color scheme that I want. So I called my local game store and I reserved a pre-order for the Skaventide box. I just picked it up this weekend and I plan to paint some clan rats the exact same way I did with these 3D printed models to see the difference. And if it turns out any better, then at least we know it's not the artist's fault, right? So I'm gonna stop this experiment now because I just don't have it in me to paint these rats any more than I've already done. I'm completely unsatisfied with how they're looking, whether it's the tail looking blotchy or the fur looking not very distinct, and the armor just looking completely bland. And I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe it's all in my head, but it's driving me crazy. So I'm just going to finish it with these two. I am going to do the bases just to sort of give it a completely rounded look. And for the next video in 2 weeks, I will show them side by side to see if there is a distinct difference between the two. Is it the model and the detailing on the 3D printed model, or is it some other factor that I don't know about? Or maybe it's just me and I am not satisfied with this color scheme, which is also okay because the whole point of these 3D printed ones is to have some extra ones to play with at home and to experiment color schemes with. So stay tuned for the next video where I go into comparing them. And in the meantime, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it was entertaining in some way watching me stumble my way through this color scheme. If you like what I do, please subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, and give a comment about what you think I could do to maybe improve how I'm painting this model. Maybe there's just something I'm missing that I'm not seeing because I'm so close to the process and you guys would know the obvious solution. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.